Why does the beef Chow Fun at restaurants taste so good? But when we make it at home, the beef is dry and tough, and the rice noodles break apart. Today, I'm blurred to solve these problems. I'll share how to make tender beef and that soulful wok hei right in your home kitchen with a regular stove. It's simpler than you think. Let's get started. Let's start by prepping the beef. Take a close look at this piece of meat. You'll notice the direction of the muscle fibers. We want to cut against the grain, which basically means slicing perpendicular to those lines. That way, we break up the fibers and make the beef super tender and easy to chew. And here's a pro tip. Aim for slices about as thick as a quarter. That's the perfect thickness for great texture. Now let's marinate the beef. First, add salt, sugar, oyster sauce, soy sauce, and rice wine. These give the meat a solid foundation of flavor. Next up is baking soda. Here's a golden rule to remember. For every pound of beef, use about half a teaspoon, never more. When it comes to baking soda, less is always better than more. Too much will leave an unpleasant alkaline taste and ruin the natural flavor of the beef. Baking soda serves two purposes. It breaks down tough muscle fibers thanks to its mild alkalinity, and it helps the meat retain more moisture, making it juicy and tender. Once it's mixed well, it's time to let the beef drink some water. The trick here is to add the water little by little. Just like this. Pour in a small amount, then gently massage it in by hand until the liquid is fully absorbed and you don't see any excess water. Repeat the process. Add a bit more water and massage again. This way, the beef soaks up plenty of water without any leaking out. You'll notice that the color gets lighter and the surface looks moist and glossy when it's fully hydrated. If you want a color to pop, add just a touch of dark soy sauce. Most people also add a little egg white. Egg white is slightly alkaline too, which further helps tenderize the beef. Then, add some cornstarch. Starch coats the beef and, once heated, creates a protective layer that locks in all that moisture we just added. Finally, drizzle in a bit of oil. This forms a seal over the beef, helps lock in moisture, and keeps the pieces from sticking together when you cook them. Let the beef rest and marinate for about 15 minutes. I recommend using these whiter rice noodles for this dish. Here's the most important step. Before you start cooking, take a moment to separate each strand by hand. A lot of fresh rice noodles come coated with a thin layer of oil. That's there to keep them from sticking together. Once you've separated them, the noodles should be nice and loose, soft, and easy to work with. For the veggies, I'm using bean sprouts. I like to snap off both ends for a better texture. I've got some sliced onion here, as well as both the green and white parts of green onions, all ready to go. I'm using a traditional Chinese wok to cook the beef. Now, here's the secret to making sure nothing sticks. You want to season the wok. Crank the heat up high and let the wok get super hot. Wait until the temperature hits around 520 degrees Fahrenheit and you see a steady stream of white smoke rising from the surface. Once you get there, turn off the heat. Pour in some cooking oil and swirl it around so it coats the entire inside of the wok. This step creates a non-stick layer of oil. Let it sit for about 20 seconds to cool down just a bit. Next, bring the oil temperature down to around 340 degrees Fahrenheit. The surface should look calm, but you'll see heat rising. Add in your marinated beef. Turn the heat back on. Because we want to use less oil at home, I recommend pan searing. Spread the beef out in a single layer and let it sear, about 30 seconds on one side. Flip it over and sear the other side. Once the beef is about 80% cooked through, remove it from the wok and let any excess oil drain off. Leave a little oil in the wok. Toss in the onions and the white part of the scallions and stir fry until they're fragrant. Add the bean sprouts. They cook fast and release water easily, so be quick. Stir fry everything on high heat for about 10 seconds. Sprinkle in a pinch of salt for flavor. Finally, transfer the stir-fried onions and bean sprouts onto the cooked beef. For the sauce, all you need is soy sauce, dark soy sauce, and sugar. Just give it a good stir until everything's well mixed, and set it aside. Stir-fried Chow Fun is a quick dish. It takes just about 3 minutes from start to finish. First, wash out your wok, then heat it up again until you see a steady stream of white smoke. Turn off the heat, and this time, just add a tiny splash of oil. A key to this dish is keeping the noodles dry and light, not greasy. Let the wok cool down just a bit, then add in the rice noodles. Turn the heat to medium-high. Gently use chopsticks to spread out and separate the noodles in a single layer, letting them sear more than stir-fry. Sprinkle in a pinch of salt to give the noodles a little base flavor. Be gentle. Use a light touch with your chopsticks and stop as soon as the noodles are loosened up. That way, you won't break them up. Keep the heat at medium-high and let one side of the noodles sear for about a minute. Then, using a spatula, carefully flip the noodles from the bottom. You'll notice a few golden spots on the noodles. That's the caramelization happening, and it's where all that amazing toasted rice flavor comes from. Seal the other side the same way for another minute. Right before you add the sauce, crank the heat all the way up and then drizzle in a little sauce at a time. With one hand, pour in the sauce. With the other, use your spatula to quickly toss the noodles from the bottom up so every strand gets evenly coated. When the sauce hits the blazing hot wok, it evaporates instantly and creates those incredible aromas from caramelization and the Maillard reaction. That's the secret to getting that signature Wok Hei flavor. Adding the sauce in small batches is key. It lets you bring out that signature Wok Hei aroma with each addition and helps ensure every strand of noodle gets evenly coated with flavor and color. This way, your Chow Fun will look and taste just like where you'd find in a great Cantonese restaurant. Now, add in the beef and veggies you prepped earlier. Use your chopsticks to gently separate and mix everything together. Finally, sprinkle in the chopped green onions, and your Chow Fun is ready to serve. There you have it, delicious beef Chow Fun, straight from your own kitchen. I hope you enjoyed cooking with me. If you love this recipe, hit like and subscribe for more tasty Chinese dishes. See you in the next video.